Hold on, I gotta write this down. This is
Anyway,
too good.
so on a whole different topic now.
Credit me.
Since your boy is out here fucking bust rhyming this rap game.
Yeah,
What age should you leave your parents' house?
that's a big segue.
Yeah, bro, it's easy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Because
Any
especially
time.
because I don't know. I just want to make this point real quick because in the Western in Asian, or I don't know, I think in Asian society, mainly in Asian society, like we're very sort of like conservative in the sense that we really like staying until you're old
Marriage,
enough, yeah, like until you're married before you leave the
you
house. You know what I
can
mean?
leave.
Like
Yeah,
very late. It's only like in the whole like Western society, the concept of once you're 18, you get the fuck out of the house and you go on your own,
hmm
came about. So I feel like there's a very big distinguishable like sort of idea of like, oh, um, because I live alone, I am independent. So yeah, what are your opinions on that? Because I've
but it depends on culture as well. Like
Yeah.
it largely depends on like where you're from, how you grew up,
yeah,
and
obviously, but I'm saying like because we're all from different parts of the world. Well, our parents are from different parts of the world, but us, we're born here,
Mhm.
so we kind of have both sort of perspectives, if you will.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think is a more logical or more profitable or advantageous scenario? Do you think leaving early or leaving later? What do you think?
Well, first, to add on to what you said,
Sure.
from what I know of the culture in Asia, there tends to be a focus on family,
Yeah.
on like a more traditional stick with your family
Yeah.
until you get married
Yeah. Then we join the families.
idea.
Mhm.
So basically, you're gonna stay home until
Yeah.
they marry you off, or you
Yeah.
get the chance to choose who you're marrying.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, usually you in those cultures you would tend to have the family unit stay together until
Mhm.
forced separation by union of marriage.
Yeah.
Um, and that goes with the same thing of keeping your grandparents and parents
Yeah. Yeah. In the same
or living
house.
with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And Western society, the opposite, right? Um, I think Western society is changing though, because I remember uh, my dad told me that he was moving out at 16
Sure.
because he lived in a small town and there wasn't any opportunity there,
Sure. Yeah.
and he he didn't have any opportunities.
Damn, that's
They,
early. 16? Shit.
yeah, it was not like great conditions.
Mm.
So he went out, and it's in this small town called Joliet, and then he moved to Montreal. So at 16 he started leaving, and so he was really young when he moved very far away
Yeah.
from all of his family, and from everything that he ever knew.
Mm.
So and my mom as well. So they both left and came to Montreal, and it's very different what they went through from what I'm going through, because
Yeah.
I still live with my parents,
Yeah.
and uh, they could see it too. Like I've talked to them about it, and they've realized that things aren't the same anymore. And I don't think they hold like a any like ill regard towards it. They just see it as things change, like
Yeah.
the times have changed. That's
Well, I
just
don't know. There's a lot for say for I know a lot of university students, a lot of people I work with. A lot of them they often leave the house around like 18, 19. Sort of like their whole idea of being independent. I gotta take care of myself and all that stuff. But I don't agree with that at all because I think independence is a mindset. It's not a
mm,
you don't have to be physically in a different spot to be
Yeah.
independent
yeah.
because ultimately I know a lot of people who are like they live alone but they're not dependent. They're very much dependable on other people to survive or to like to sort of live on a daily basis and like not necessarily monetary wise but in sort of like connection socializing and all that
Yeah,
stuff. So like in a
stay
sense that
functional.
exactly stay functional. So in a sense that I know like myself I'm very much independent in terms of I don't really like rely on my mom to do stuff. I pay my own bills. I even pay her goddamn bills. So you mean like it's like it's I think it's a very much a mindset. So I think it's all this whole like this, and also it's very much logical that you stay with your parents until you're ready to venture out in the world as long as
Yeah.
you can. Granted, circumstances may change and you might need to move out, like like your parents, Phil, where you don't have opportunities in the city or in like a town, so you have to move into the city. Like that's completely different. I'm saying like, say you live in like one city and you want to move to another place within that city just for the sake of being, oh, I live on my own. You know what I mean?
But here's yeah, I just want to critique on that. It's very funny when I meet people that tell me how independent they are from everybody else and
Yeah.
how they're out of their parents' house and their parents are the ones that actually pay the
Pay the
rent.
house. Yeah, I'm
And
saying.
that's the most hilarious thing. Like
Got
I
no
find
job.
it cracks me up. Yeah, it cracks me every time. Like, yeah, my mom comes over, cooks me food, and she leaves. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I feel like it's the kind of people that want to play grown up instead of actually being a grown up.
Being.
Um, but here's just to answer Daryl's question, like what age or what time should
Yeah. What
is
do you feel? Yeah.
ideal to actually move out? I'd say not even like marriage. I'd say like as soon as you get like a stable job, like you get like a like a job that like requires like a higher degree of as a diploma, like a
Mhm.
college or university degree
So
job.
your end game job or your
Exactly. Like your job that
Your
you're looking
career.
yeah, you're like your career, like the job you're looking forward for doing like for the next 30, 40 years of your life.
Sure.
Um, but it doesn't not necessarily have to be your permanent job. It could be a part-time job, but it's a serious job. It's a well-paid job, enough for you to sustain yourself independently from anyone else.
Yeah.
At that point, I feel like, yeah, that's a good time. I wouldn't associate it with age necessarily, but if you want a number, if you want really a number, I'd say around 25, 26. 25, 26, you should be like set like I got your own
You
crib,
should
have
be.
a
Yeah.
job. Yeah,
Technically.
you should.
good
But
base,
if you're
but at
still,
the same time,
I mean, people struggle in their lives. Like I've met people that are still living at their parents' house and they're like 27, but
Yeah.
but they're 27. They got a job and they're in the process of getting married. They're in the process of actually leaving.
Yeah.
They're not still there and still thinking about staying
Sure.
there. But if you want a number, I'd say between 25, 26.
Okay.
I wouldn't give a number. I agree with almost everything that's been said, uh, but I wouldn't give a number because I think we shouldn't have like these societal expectations
Yeah.
of you have to leave. Already there's an assumption
That's stress, bro.
there that you absolutely have to leave your family or else
Yeah.
you're not a real person or you're going to die or who knows.
Yeah.
But like there shouldn't be this pressure. You should want to do it because it helps your growth, right? It should
Yeah.
be a
Hmm.
natural evolution rather than a, well, all my friends are doing it, so I'll do it. Like
Yeah.
it has to come from your own need rather than as a,
Their wants.
oh, why not move out, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's no reason to it, if you have
Yeah.
to like if you have no reason to move out, then you shouldn't. But so here's the thing. Like let's just say that you're trying to settle down with your girl, for example. You got your own house, you got your own place, you got to settle down
Yeah.
with
That's also a very big
the
thing.
other.
Like,
Yeah, that's a reason to move out, okay? But if someone, for example,
but
is
do you think
living
it's a good reason to move out?
a good reason to move out is
Because like I
if
know a
you
lot of
want
people.
to. But
I know,
here's the thing: moving
a
out
lot of
is not a
couples want to do
bad
that
thing.
stuff because
Yeah, yeah,
they're in like the momentum. Oh, like we love each other. Let's go out. And then
that's
like
too
a few
quick.
years later they fucking drop and then they both split out. They're back at where they
I've
started.
seen it 80% of the cases. I've seen that happen. But what I wanted to add on what you said is I wouldn't really necessarily put the whole idea of moving out based on everybody else because everybody's living their own lives,
Sure. Yeah.
got their own things going on. Like here's the thing: like you can still live at your parents as long as you carry your own weight.
Yeah.
Like as long as you carry your own weight, you don't like drag everybody else at in the house. Like you don't depend on everybody. Like you're not some weight that people need to carry around. You're not a burden to everybody else. Then fine, you should
Getting
stay
a
with your parents.
burden. You're a
Yeah,
burden.
You're burden, but you shouldn't be a burden to anybody else. If you can carry your own weight, sure, stay. If you can't, well, you should.
Yeah, I think that's where like most people's anxiety comes from as well. Back to the topic of last week's episode, which we didn't really touch on, but like it was anxiety, where a lot of people have they see these societal expectations and they often try to meet them, and then when they don't, they feel like they failed, which is something that's very much like before. Like not many people have this sort of awareness of this expectation because it's like word of mouth, really, because nobody
Mhm.
had social media. But nowadays, social media everywhere is freaking. You go to YouTube and see like other people's opinions of stuff,
Yeah.
and it's like what I mean. So like a lot of people have this sort of, oh, I guess I should be acting this way since I'm 18 now. I'm an adult now. I
Right.
need to go out because I am independent, or I need to be independent. But the thing is, I feel like there's a lot of stress when you're 18, you're sort of lost in the world. You know your purpose yet. You haven't figured out what you want to do in life, and you're tackling this big endeavor.
It's unnecessary pressure.
And also, I think
Yeah.
financially, it's not smart either, because if you can, like, the smartest way is to stay
It
at your
is
parents.
a huge task to live by yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
People do not know
And
what it takes to
staying
actually live
staying
by yourself.
home is somewhat of an investment if
it
you
is, man, it is
uh,
actually. Unless you
It
own the
is.
house, you shouldn't be fucking living on your own.
Yo, save your money, bro. Like if you would rather like chug away like a grand a month in rent, it stacks up pretty quickly. You'll realize that you're not making nothing at all, no
Yeah,
money. You're just making
actually,
barely to survive.
plus school, you have debt in school as well. Like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
come on. Yo, you can't live on noodles forever, man. Come
But
on,
but you
bro.
can live if you start an OnlyFans.